I've picked up this really nasty habit recently. No matter what it is, no matter where I am, my eyes dart to my phone whenever a push notification pops up. Can you relate to this? Somehow I have trained myself that my phone is more important than anything else going on around me. Even if I'm at dinner with a friend, at work, these push notifications catch my eye. The ones that have been particularly annoying lately are ones from the Weather Channel because they're always telling me about these apocalyptic like stories. This giant gator was caught in somebody's backyard. There's a monsoon coming on the other side of the world, but it also might not happen. If nothing else, it's a massive distraction. And honestly, it's crap like this that can really pull us away from what we're trying to do with our time, with our day, and with our life. I mean, honestly, how are you supposed to be this to the T person, following your diet plan, hitting your exercises, parenting kids, being there for your spouse, your partner, your friends, your family, when you have all of these distractions, all this noise going on around you? The thing about the noise in our life is it comes in a lot of different forms. Some is overt and some are definitely more difficult to identify. And if we don't address these distractions, if we don't dispel some of this noise in our life, then we are going to experience massive dissonance, upset, and let's face it, failure. I don't want that for you. I know you don't want that for you. So that's what we're going to talk about today in the Weight Loss Unmasked podcast. Let's do this. Hey, I am so glad that you are here today for the Weight Loss Unmasked podcast episode I dub How to Spot the BS and Remove It from Your Life. Before we do, I ought to introduce myself, especially for those of you who are joining us for the very first time. I'm Erica, and I am a wellness mindset coach out to help you discover what you really want in life and how to get it, whether you want to lose 100 pounds like me or just level up with your health. I want you to know, I was nearly 300 pounds at my heaviest. I hid behind my weight. And I called myself the incognito athlete. I felt so unhealthy and stuck due to my self-sabotaging habits and beliefs. However, now I live unmasked, happy and healthy as my authentic self. And it's my mission to help you achieve your own level of health and happiness through mindset tips and strategies that have worked for me and my clients. Now, this episode is actually the third in a series that is featuring the Gumption Challenge. This is a free 30-day program that I have put together for you to really own that courage that you have and ignite the spark within you to make a change in your life. During this challenge, I give you a glimpse into my one-on-one coaching and take you through a guided 4-week course. Again, totally free. I want you to know you do not have to be in shape or already be on a diet to get started. All you have to do is show up. And I highly encourage you to register for this. This is something that you can access on my website at unmaskedwellness.com. If you register, then you will get those guided lessons from me. And I also have a new option that you can choose. In addition to my emails, you will get exercises. These are exclusive to this challenge. And I'll be providing you with an outline on how you can lose up to 10 pounds during this Gumption Challenge. Oh yeah, this ain't no gimmick. I've done it myself and it has worked for me, so I know it'll work for you. So let's go ahead and pivot to the topic for the day, how to spot the BS in your life and remove it. So as I was thinking about a lot of the different instances where noise can be present, but maybe not as obvious to us, I started to see a cool mnemonic device emerge from this. This list of BS can be remembered with the acronym of feelings. Now, feelings isn't something that we always like to talk about, but it's something I talk about a whole heck of a lot on this podcast because your feelings matter and they are a telltale sign of what is good for you and what is not, what is okay with you and what is not, what serves you well and what doesn't. So when you have feelings, when they come up for you, pay attention to them. So let's go ahead through this list. I'll call out the mnemonic device as we go through it. Here we go. F, failed commitments. Have you ever had a friend tell you that they'll call you back and they never do? Or maybe they said that they would meet you for coffee and don't show up? Or even just cancel last minute, leaving your whole day kind of in disarray? This is the kind of stuff that is important for you to pay attention to. When others don't fulfill their commitments to you, it's okay to give them some grace. It's okay to forgive. But I do encourage you to notice trends. If there is a string of failed commitments happening, then don't be the fool in that situation and fall victim to it every single time. You can protect yourself in different ways. I'll get into the how later in this episode. Next is E, egotism. There's lots of names for this: narcissism, selfishness. It's an ugly truth with people, but there are those who are truly self-serving. They might care about you and love you. However, there may be a tendency that they're always serving their own needs first. Maybe they only want to meet with you on their own time and never when it's convenient for you. Maybe they only want to do something that makes them look good and doesn't necessarily serve others first. Again, pay attention to those instances where compromise is not happening. It's possible that there is egotism, narcissism happening there, and that can really perpetuate a lot of BS in your life. It jockeys with what you need and what works for you. The second E is entertainment, and I'm going to double down on that one to call it excessive entertainment. We all fall victim to this in one way or another. I think by nature, because of our technology-centric society now, we have so many forms of entertainment at our fingertips. Television, movies, social media, heck, even podcasts. Take a second to see how much time you're actually spending with entertainment. How many hours a day are you spending scrolling through social media? That might be a cliche remark or observation at this point, but it is a very real one. I mean, I caught myself scrolling for about 10 or 15 minutes this morning and it was pointless. Sure. It's okay to be entertained. It's okay to take a break. However, is this the best way for you to be spending your time? Is it noise? Is it distraction? Is it serving you well? Is it actually giving you that break or that rest? Could you also just be sitting with yourself, going for a quiet walk? You only know the answer to that, but be aware. L is for laziness. If you find yourself saying, I don't want to, and listen, I say it too, check yourself. Make sure that you are not changing your plans and commitments to yourself to avoid them and your responsibilities, or if you're just looking to take a break. And be kind to yourself. Be honest to yourself when you're evaluating any kind of sign of potential laziness. Just because you want to sit down after being on your feet all day does not mean that you are lazy. You need and deserve a break. But again, if there is that trend of you skipping your commitments, that could be some BS in your life that you need to address. I is for insincerity. This is something that's become very obvious to me at this point in my life. I think we've become a little too complacent, or maybe even casual is a better word, in how we talk to each other. Oh, I love you. Oh, I miss you. Oh, we have to get together. These have become as common as hello, how are you, and thank you. And although they're very kind comments and remarks, it's important to identify whether these things are being said with a genuine nature. I'm sure you can think of some people in your life who, every time you see them, will say, "We have to get together." However, they never reach out. They rarely ask you how you're doing. And you can't even remember the last time that you guys spent any time together. These folks are not bad people. And heck, we're probably guilty of it too. I know I am. But again, if there is this repeated insincerity and you're surrounding yourself with people who are not demonstrating an interest, then you need not invest time there. That can just be a distraction for you. N is for negativity. Anything that brings up any gloomy feelings like guilt, anger, frustration, confusion, hurt, pay attention. Maybe you can even think of a time when you were around somebody else who was having a bad day, was negative, was being grumpy, complaining. How does that make you feel? Do you end up feeling negative, gloomy, grumpy too? Do you maybe even commiserate with them over that negativity? It's so interesting how we can impact each other in that way. So pay attention to the negativity because it can really suck us in and distract us from what our true goals are and our true self. And here's an example too of how that can happen. Letter G, gossip. We are humans. We are all guilty of this. But listen, let's think about this for a second. I think it's worth us looking at ways that we can improve ourselves. Why do you surf through people's feed? Why do you spend the time on social media? Is it for dirt on old friends or even enemies? How do you react and respond to the things that you see? Do you keep that information to yourself, relay it to others, or maybe even entertain yourself with a little bit of gossip? It can be so interesting to share stories and see how people grow, change, evolve, or even devolve in life. You know, it's like a little sociology experiment in my head sometimes. But really, what purpose does it serve you when these people are no longer in your life? I mean, I have like hundreds of Facebook friends and maybe 10 of them show up in my feed. So whenever those people from 20, 30 years ago pop up, it's like, why spend my energy here? Why spend my focus here? How does this align with what I'm trying to do in life? So what are you gaining from this time online? Just be honest with yourself. This is something I've had to do too. It helps to make sure that you're spending your time wisely and putting out the good energy. I know that you always feel good when others lift you up. And so if you find things dragging you down, see if you can flip the script on that, because I know you're a great person and I know that you thrive on that positive energy too. Eliminate the noise. And finally, S is for support, or maybe in this case, lack thereof. Going to the well over and over again and not getting what you want can be extremely discouraging. Know people's tendencies. For instance, you may want to stop going to your mother for comfort if she's usually the one to dish out some tough love. Make sure you're sharing your achievements with a friend who's actually excited about your exercise routine. I learned really fast that people don't want to hear about my deadlifts and power cleans. So I find people who do. And confide in people who you can trust. And know that you can lean on them when you are feeling vulnerable and need a little encouragement. Without the right lifelines or by pursuing a fruitless path, you are perpetuating BS in your life, and it's just not serving you well anymore. So there you have it, feelings. I'll go ahead and run down those again for you. F, failed commitments. E, egotism. E, entertainment or excessive entertainment. L, laziness. I, insincerity. N, negativity. G, gossip. And S, support or lack thereof. All right. So how the heck do we handle these things once we identify there might be an issue? There's just a really easy 3-step process here. Number 1, acknowledge it. Once you see something that doesn't look right or feel right, again, with the feelings, then it's important to acknowledge what the heck is going on. Number 2 is assess. It's possible that you may have identified something that's BS in your life, but you can always see if there is a trend. You can consult a trusted friend. Make sure that what you think you see is actually so. And then the best way to resolve anything is to 3, act. Change happens through action. Now, we have just discussed a wide array of different scenarios, and many of which include people. So I want to give you one word of caution here. In communicating with people, be respectful and kind. If you feel that somebody's not serving you, that doesn't mean you have to remove them from your life. I encourage you to just decide what terms, what boundaries are okay with you and what you want to proceed with, and then communicate those feelings to the individual. Again, with kindness, humility, and without judgment and blame. Communication with a healthy-minded individual can usually result in some really great outcomes. Keep your expectations low. Go in with an open mind and heart, and anything that has been a distraction, a problem, some BS in your life is more than likely going to be resolved for you. And as a result, you're going to be so much more powerful, so much more in line with who you are by taking charge of your life and not letting the noise and distractions run you. I hope you have found this really helpful today. I really enjoyed outlining this, and I think it's so important for us to look at the day-to-day stuff in life that can really bog us down. If you need an outline, if you need something to kind of help guide you out of a place where you feel overwhelmed, the Gumption Challenge really can be a great solution for you. So please do check it out at unmaskedwellness.com. There's also a link in the show notes to this episode. Listen, you guys are the best. I want you to remember something. Today is a new day, and it is a day for a fresh start. So make today yours and make it the day that you go after your dreams. I believe in you. Can't wait to talk to you next week.